Welcome to another unboxing from theplayersaid.com. I'm Grant. Yesterday I received actually in the mail a package from Tiny Battle Publishing that had two games in it. I'm going to unbag this game and then I will work on unbagging the second game as well. But this is one of their Invaders from Dimension X series games. In fact, this is game number 3 in that series. I'll go ahead and show you there. Game number 3 in the Invaders from Dimension X series. Galactic Marines battle humongous rock aliens. So obviously this is a non-traditional war game, but it is still a war game nonetheless. It involves hexes and counters, but has a little bit of a different theme. The story behind it is you're in the world beyond, which is a fictitious universe, and you are supposedly playing the 124th Galactic Marine Division, who is on R&R on a planet by the name of Graviton Prime. And they're supposed to be there after kicking some butt in a previous battle and supposed to be relaxing, earning some well-needed R&R. Well, of course, any good story starts with a plausible connection between the main protagonist and some crazy event. So while the 124th Marines are there on Graviton Prime, the miners there tunnel too deeply and they encounter a cache of rock aliens that they can neither damage nor escape, do any harm to at all. So these aliens are going crazy and you have been asked to assist with the effort to exterminate these 50-foot Colossi. The game is designed by Herman Luttman. Herman has done several games that we have played. Most notably is the from Victory Point Games, the zombie game, and the game is escaping my memory at this point, but he designed that game. He's also done, I'm trying to think, Air Raid over Pearl Harbor from Legion War Games, I believe. But Herman definitely puts a lot of thought and a lot of effort. He also did a game recently on Dunkirk. So really like Herman's games. His way of design is good, and this is an effort in that vein. It is a polybag game. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. So it comes with not as many counters as usual. We'll have a paper map, and it does have some cards. So we'll go ahead and get those out, but I'll leave the... So here's the rule book, and you can see it doubles as the front cover as well. Really like that art. It really harkens back to the 1950s there. You can see the panicked residents of Graviton Prime who are just losing their minds. Looks like a 1950s B-series serial movie. But here you go to the table of, the rule book. Really quickly, the rules are about 18 pages. You can see they're not terribly large text, but this is not a densely packed rule book. There appears to be a lot of graphics, a lot of examples. Here are some tables and other items. Looks like these are under special rules. Here's a look at some of the different counters. There are different types of these Colossi. There you see a brown stone, what is called a gray stone. There's also white stones and yellow stones. And you can see they have different, and red stones, sorry. You can see they have slightly different stats on each of them, so they're going to have differing abilities. In fact, here is a table showing the tribal special attacks by tribe, by these type of Colossi. You can go ahead and read those, but that once again gives a little difference and randomness to the minions are going to be fighting off. But as I said, this is a hex and counter war game, and you're going to push counters across a paper map. So here's like I said, here's a look at those rules. Haven't read this yet. There are some event chits that are going to be drawn and used. Oh, and by the way, this is a solitaire only game. I do believe that there are rules for an optional 2-player playthrough, but I'm not sure where they're located. I was hoping to see those here. I'll have to, like I said, I'll have to get into it a little bit more. But this is a solo war game. I think the playtime on it was saying somewhere between 120 to 150 minutes. Here we go. Right there. 58 counters, 30 operational markers, 2 11x17 maps, a player aid, the rule book, which is full color and nicely done, I will say, and then an atmospherically sealed Ziploc bag. Yes, it is definitely thematic the way they describe those, but you can see Herman Luttman, the design made for 120 to 150 minutes, and it's medium complexity. So there's a look at the rule book. We'll put that aside. Here's the player aid, and it looks like this specifically is the event chit chart. So these are the different events that can happen when you draw these chits out. You can see there's a lot of text with each one of those. Let's pick one. Let's just pick chain lightning. So when you draw that one, it looks like there's 2 in the cup as well. You're going to create this draw cup. You're going to follow these steps. Step 1, roll 3 dice to get a hex number. Place the chain lightning event chit in that hex. A Marine or civilian unit located in that hex is immediately eliminated. A Colossi tribe is in that hex loses its top boulder counter. I don't know what that means. Then locate the Marine, civilian, or Colossi tribe unit nearest to that hex and within 5 hexes. You're going to do that, etc., etc. Then you're going to conduct a 5 combat factor attack against Marine civilians. Resolve like rolling thunder attacks, which I don't know what a rolling thunder attack is. Step 2, locate the nearest Marine, civilian, or tribe unit within 4 hexes of the unit that was just attacked in the same manner. Conduct a 4 combat factor attack against that unit. So once again, thematically, chain lightning, it is going to attack one group nearest this hex that is determined randomly, and then it's going to attack the next nearest group. So it could attack Colossi stacks. It could also attack Marines or civilians and vice versa. So it could be a bad thing or it could be a good thing for you depending when they're drawn. So there you go. There's an example. Here is the charts and tables that you will need, including Marine recovery, your combat results table, not really overly complex. The Chiseler combat results, I don't know what the Chiseler is. Maybe we'll find that out. Here's a bomber combat results, jump pack moves, orbital strikes. That's always awesome. You got to have orbital strikes in any game with aliens, I'll tell you that. Scout recon, boring bit combat results. Obviously, you're on a mining planet, so there's some mining equipment around that you can use to attack the Colossi. So pretty interesting. That's the player aid. Nice looking player aid. And it said it came with 2 maps. And I think what it meant to say is 2 different maps, because it is really one map, right? It's one map sheet, but it's a double-sided. So there must be versions or scenarios that you can play. It is a paper map, 11x17, nice quality, good color. It's gloss. The terrain effects table is right there. You've got your turn track, as well as the phases and steps. So this is going to aid you in playing the game. Yeah, you can see this is Map Zone Alpha. You can see right there. And this is Map Zone Beta. So there are 2 different maps. They're just on the back of each other, but they're kind of cool looking. Well done, simple map. This is not a huge game, but once again, it's a solitaire game, so you're going to be playing this by yourself. Here, I wanted to take a look at the counters. It's a half counter sheet. Tiny Battle Publishing usually does a really good job on their counters. These actually appear to be completely centered, which I think is important for counters. I cannot stand counters that are clipped off center, and you end up clipping, as you clip the counters, you end up clipping some of the important information as you go along. These seem to be perfectly centered, which is great. Here's that boring pit and bomber that we were talking about. Here's a look at some of the Marines. You have a Marine squad, scout, a medic, special operations, and then you have a heavy weapons team right here. Obviously, the numbers below are most likely movement, combat factors, as well as maybe a morale. You'll also notice on the scout units, they have the word or the letters J and P underneath, which I'm assuming means jump. So they have the ability to jump. I don't know if they can jump just horizontally or vertically. I'm not exactly sure. Here's an example of some of those civilians. You have miners, different types. I'm sorry, I'm not being able to hold this really that steady. And then there's a whole bunch of administrative counters. Here's a look at the Colossi. Remember we went through the different colors. You have green called tombstones, white colored ones called white stones, black colored counters, black stones, red, yellow, brown, and gray as well. So there's a lot of different types. Flip over to their other side. Let me see if that's a reduced side. And yes, it is. So looking at the top red stones, their reduced side takes them to a 1-3, 1-2, or 3-3. If you flip that back over, that's reduced from their 3-4, 4-4, and 3-3. So there are different attack factors and movement factors associated with all of these counters. Nice looking counters. They're going to come right out of that sprue fairly simply. I will clip the corners with my patented Oregon Laminations 2.5 millimeter corner rounder. This many counters will take about 25 to 30 minutes. So I'll have this ready to go. I would love to play this one solo, maybe even this weekend. I know Alexander was kind of licking his chops at it. He's a big solo gamer and was really looking forward to that. We'll put the... there are some cards. Let's go ahead and open the cards. It's a deck of, maybe 20 cards. It looks like, and I'm having trouble. You've wrapped these too well, Tiny Battle Publishing. Why? I guess this is my first challenge to get these out of the wrapping, and I failed. Or at least I succeeded, but I failed because it wasn't timely. There's a look at the art. You can see there is a picture of a Colossi, which is taken from the front cover. But it says Colossi Order of Action. So these are the AI cards that you are going to use to activate the different Colossi units, move them around the board, attack with, probably even recruit. So here's an example of one. Colossi Order of Action. All tribes on the map are activated. Random order, roll one die. An even number, activate an order from lowest numbered hex to the highest numbered hex. So you're going to have to be paying attention to these numbers on the map itself. If there's an odd number rolled, activate an order from highest numbered hex to lowest numbered hex. And the tiebreaker is a highest numbered hex. So there's an example of that. Now here's another one. This simply lists the order that the different units are going to go. Tombstones, gray stones, black stones, brown stones, and red stones. So here's an example of a card that relies on a random die roll, this one, to activate units based on the highest numbered hexes, or I'm sorry, which hexes are going to be activated. And here's one that actually identifies the different tribes and their order in which they are going to attack. You can see that one's identical to that. I was looking to see if maybe they had... Yes, so there's one that is different. So you can see these are different. Tombstones go first, but next on one card, the left, is gray stones, the other is white stones, and you can see they're slightly different. So there's going to be a slight difference to who reacts, and most of the cards are like that. With actually, it appears only this one card where you're going to randomly decide that or determine that order by a die roll. So you're going to use these cards to activate the different Colossi units, so that's cool. That's really all there is there to it. Nice looking game. I think production wise, counters are great, colors are great. The art looks very thematic, very 1950s-esque, early sci-fi. Really think that's cool. So I'm looking forward to playing this one. I know Alexander also will be looking forward to play this one. So we will definitely try to give this a try soon so that we can get our thoughts out there, and you can decide whether you want to pick it up or not. Alexander loves solo games. I am a solo gamer mainly by choice. I'm sorry, not by choice. I play when I don't have anybody else or really have an itch to play a game and can't find an opponent. Alexander and I live about 30 miles apart now. Used to live in the same town. It was a lot easier. But so for me, solo gaming is a fill in the blank until I can get an opponent. Alexander really enjoys and dives into solo play. So look for a video review and potentially a written review of this over the next 3 or 4 weeks, and we'll try to get this played as soon as we possibly can. So I've been Grant for the Player's Aid. This is an unbagging video or unboxing video for Attack of the 50-Foot Colossi from Tiny Battle Publishing. So if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and like. If you like what we're doing on the channel, please subscribe, and we look forward to showing you more stuff in the future. Thanks a lot.